being immortal. So when you is hard for a quarter, man, we gonna ride. I'm not playing. We ain't leaving out a dub. I promise you. I'm getting everything out. That beat shit is far a little ball. Hey, I like thanks to my nigga them. We gon' play with them pistols here. We smoking dank in my liver, yeah. We get shit wet on the river, yeah. We get shit wet like the river, yeah. I wet shit like Austin Rivers, yeah. Hey, check me out. On my side is getting wicked, nigga sliding. Mama told that boy to shake the city, so he ride. On that Mac, it be a titty, show no pity when we diving. Roll your brother in the game before he hitting, why you hiding? OG now be dropping bags, no I don't, bitch, why you lying? MN's closet popping tags, spent 5 racks on my designer. Put 15 up on your ass, but that's your ass.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Sideline Surge. As always, I'm your host, Emil. I'm joined today by my usual co-host, Samaj. How you doing, Samaj?
I'm
We have
doing
some
all right, bro.
we have some interesting stuff to go into today. Today we'll be going over obviously the opening week of college football. We had some opening games this past week, and we still have some opening games tomorrow, which will lead us into our UM versus Notre Dame discussion since it is going to be happening tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be at the game. And then we're going to transition to the NFL. We're going to talk about some very recent NFL news, including a very important trade that just happened and some new uniform announcements. And we will be going into the preseason because the preseason just ended and we will have actual regular season games soon in about a week. So we do have to talk about some interesting stuff from the preseason. First of all, opening college football. We had some interesting games. I mean, first of all, I think the very first upset, like ranked upset that we had was USF versus Boise State. Now, Boise State was ranked 25 even after losing Ashton Genty, which I think both of us kind of thought that that was the reason they did well last year, right? And now they don't have him. And I think it kind of showed that Boise State might not be as good without Ashton Genty because I mean they lost to USF, which was like an 8-7 I think record team last year. They lost to them 34-7, which is like kind of insane, especially since Boise State had like 3 turnovers versus USF's like 0 turnovers. I think it was 2 or 3 turnovers. I mean, what do you see out of that so much with Boise State?
Man, to be honest, not surprising. Like I've been said this last year, bro. Like once he goes to the league, like Boise State is no longer going to be playoff contenders, bro. Like we already knew that. It's just that people want to like gas it up so much where it's like it's not only Ash and Jenny when he's at Boise State, but in reality, bro, you could literally look at every single thing before he even got to Boise State. And like even with them playing USF, bro, it literally shows us every single thing that Ashton Jenny added to them, bro. Because
Yeah,
it's like, come on now, three like I want to, yeah, 2 to 3 turnovers. Turnovers are common, but it's not common the way that it happened. It's like, bro, you can literally see as Ashton Jenny being, a huge part of the running game, with him not being there anymore, the whole offense is like it's unorganized. It like nobody is really falling in line the way they really should. And then even with USF, it definitely is surprising, but USF has always been a team to where it's like even though they may not, be the best team in Florida, they still get D1, top
yeah,
D1 recruits to go there.
they're not a
It's
bad
so
team.
so even if you may not have as many 5 stars going there or as many 4 stars going there, you still have a good amount of talent at that school. But it's really not even on USF. USF. I wouldn't say USF over delivered, but Boise State under delivered. They did not do anything at all that they were really supposed to, and that says everything. As far as them just being, not. I'll say in recent years, nobody really even knew what Boise State was. A lot of
Yeah,
people didn't even know who Boise where they are in the country, but it's just like you can't really pin like that. Oh, they're not a good team on them too early. You can't put that pin on them.
yeah,
Is that happens a lot because either way, there's always gonna be one winner, one loser. Yeah, the way they lost was definitely horrible, but that's football. That's football at the
Yeah.
end of the day. You know, it's bound to happen to some people. And even if it's, you know, not the best team going up against, you know, not another you know, good team, it's still blowouts bound to happen. It's literally a part of the game. So I definitely would say that Boise State, they for sure need to, you know, just readjust, bro.
Need to
Once
readjust
they
for the
re
post
yeah,
Ashton Genty era.
exactly. Exactly. They because and that's also a problem with it. Like, you know, you rely too much on one player. You can't do that no more. You know, if it's that and that's another reason why a lot of people,
Especially in
you
college
know,
football. You can't really do that in college
is
football.
exactly. It's like a lot of people really don't know that it's not NFL. You know, you may be able to rely on one person in NFL, but that's only going to get you so far. College, you can't do that at all. You know,
Because they're
because
gonna leave
let's
in
say
like 4 years.
is exactly
Less.
there. It's not like they're on a contract to set them up for the next like decade or
Yeah.
whatever. It's not like that, bro. It's bound to happen. But I definitely think Boise State for sure needs to, you know, shake back on that 100%.
I think it's also a very important win for USF because their first 3 games of the season, the rest of their schedule is, like decent mid. They go against some people like North Texas, Rice, which aren't horrible teams, but they're not like ranked teams. Their very first 3 games of the season are against 3 ranked people: Boise State, UF, and U Miami. Like that's an insane starting schedule for a school like USF. So this is definitely like a very important start in schedule for like the teams that they have to go up against at the start of the season. And then next up we have Ohio State versus Texas. Ohio State won 14-7, and we saw, neither of the two quarterbacks did well, but especially Archie Manning, who had so many expectations going up to this. And I feel like he struggled a little bit. He didn't do horrible. I mean, he had 17 out of 30 completions, 170 yards, and 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I mean, it's not a horrible stat line, but I feel like a lot of people were expecting a lot more out of Archie Manning. What do you think about Archie Manning's struggles?
I'll definitely say that people tend to like have too high of an expectation, and then that'll only bring them low expectations. Because it's like, bro, if you was to have something like, oh, the build up is so crazy, and then like now all of a sudden he didn't live up to that, people are going to bash him for it, and you can't bash him for that, especially for the people that don't even actually watch the games. You know, they can't do that because they also don't know the fact that you put him is his first ever career start, first road game start, and then even with, you know, him being on such a great program as Texas, bro, you're going up against the defending champs. That's
Yeah,
already a lot to handle right away. Literally season opener, you know. And then even on the defensive side, bro, he's going up against a defense that has a defense coordinator that won 3 Super Bowl rings with the Pats, bro. You got like, come on now. That's
yeah.
literally a whole defensive and like that's literally NFL right there, pretty much. That's NFL, you know what I'm saying, type of play.
NFL caliber, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't even bash him for that. But then even with, you know, some drop passes or passes being too high, which definitely happened a lot in the game, I'll definitely say it's not even on him. It's for sure, you know, the pressure. Because you can see how at certain moments of the game where he was truly locked in and he truly tried to get the play done, you know, play made and all that. But then O line was closing in on him, D line was closing in on him, so he couldn't even see where his receivers really were. You know, he has a bunch of receivers that are super skillful, but then now they're getting attacked so much, they're getting locked up so much, just because now they're expecting to pass, you know. And even with the running Texas actually had a great running game, but better than Ohio State. But then you also have to realize that Ohio State is not a crazy running team, you know.
Yeah.
Even with them having Quishon Junkins last year, that's like a once in a generational talent. You feel me? That's not a running back you come across every 5, 6, you know, 8, 10 years or so. That's not how it works. That's literally why Ashton Jenny was so good to his team. Same thing with Quishon Junkins. You know, even with Ohio State being literally wide receiver U, their wide
Yeah.
receiver U is literally like, it's insane. They have names all down the line on that wide receiver core, but then for you to have to back it up with running, that's what, you know, that's what's surprising about it. with Texas outperforming them in that. But I'll definitely say it was honestly a good game on both sides, mainly because it wasn't like, oh, only Manning struggled. Now you had Jeremiah Smith struggling as well, and even with
And the scoreline wasn't crazy. It was 14-7. I mean,
is
for going
exactly
against
is
the defending champs, that's not bad.
absolutely
I think
absolutely
it was
and
a little bit of Archie Manning um underperforming to people's expectations,
yeah,
but it wasn't
exactly.
it's not like he played horrible either. Like he had over 150 yards, over 50% completions, like a 1-to-1 like touchdown in ratio. Like it's not a horrible start, especially for the first game of the season against the defending champs. That's not horrible.
Yeah, for sure. But that I mean that's just where people go wrong about it, you know? People always tend to like they're quick to jump the gun. They never really like try to actually look at the games, and they only look at stats or whatever, or they see what the media is saying about it. And then that's when they, they have their opinions or whatever. But with me watching the game, it wasn't on anybody's fault really. It was just two
Yeah.
great teams going against each other, and they were struggling. That's literally all it was. Jeremiah Smith was struggling as well, you know, and even with not only being the star receiver on the team, you even have Brendan Ennis. Brendan Ennis, he wasn't even doing too much because of how Texas was really trying to orchestrate everything perfectly on defensive side. Because bro, you have maybe three receivers coming in and out that each one of them could perform great. Each
Yeah.
one of them. That puts a lot of pressure on the defense for Texas. So it's like, bro, the fact that they both executed great on defense, that like,
Yeah.
come on now, you literally can't do anything with that.
It's
It
not
was
a bad
just,
start at all. It's really
yeah,
not a bad start.
it literally could have went either way. Like
It's
that's
two
literally
it's
how it
two
could have been.
very competitive teams. So
Exactly.
I think both of them are gonna be like top three this year. Like just from that game, like the fact that they stayed so close together, like I think that's pretty good and a pretty good indicator of how their season is gonna go.
Sure.
Next up, also we have FSU versus Bama, who just finished playing a few hours ago. I think, obviously I'm a Canes fan all the way, but out of all the times that I'm gonna cheer on FSU, this is the best time that I'm gonna cheer for FSU. When they beat Bama 31-17, man, you don't know how happy I was to see that score line. Oh my God. For anyone who knows me, like I do not like Bama at all. Like we have a very much hate relationship with each other. And I was very happy to see that 31-17 win. Obviously all the FSU fans rushed the field. I don't, from what I saw, it was not as crazy as some other rush fields, but that's pretty good. FSU did also one of the first upsets after USF. I think I'm very proud of these Florida teams getting the upsets this year. What do you think that indicates for Bama this year? Do you think they might have more struggles to come?
I will say that it's more of a confidence thing. I'll definitely say that because you could see how, early in the game or whatever, Bama, their energy is all, that's how it's supposed to be. Every team's energy is supposed to be up, as you're preparing for the game and all that. But you could see how soon as soon as FSU, they started, you know, producing super well on the offensive side, Alabama tried to rush that as well, and they weren't fully set because you could see how Ryan Williams, he was, trying his hardest to get open most of the times, and then even with Todd Simpson, he's trying to make all these good plays, all these good throws happen, but you're going up against a team that went from undefeated, to barely making it, and then
To
to
barely like,
going, and then to
yeah,
not even being good at all. It's like
like that they were
it's
they
a
were
weird.
last place literally.
Exactly. It's a weird transition because now you don't know what to expect. Now it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting them to, really come out and beat Bama so bad. It could have been a close game, but nobody was expecting it to be 31-17 just like that. So it's
Especially
like, bro,
FSU out of all teams, they have a
it's
huge chip on their shoulder.
exactly a huge chip on their shoulder. So it's like, bro, come on now. There's like, what went wrong with Bama for them to really like play that horrible? Because we know Bama. Bama even though with Saban being gone, they're still a
Yeah,
great team. You still have people being recruited there, even with Saban being gone. You
they have
know,
a
so
huge program.
it's like it makes no sense for them to only put up 17. That's like, come on now.
Yeah,
Even with me not really being, on the fan side of Bama, like I support all teams, but it's like with Bama, come on now. I know Bama in recent years they could have performed way better than they did now, and even with last year, bro. First year without them being with Saban, they did way better than they did now, and the team's not even a crazy difference, you know. Even with people getting drafted and all that, the team is still pretty much there.
yeah,
So there's really no excuse on Bama's end for them to not really like at least put up 24. At least put up 24. If it was a close game, I'll give them that. But 31, that's like, come on, bro. You literally let them
yeah.
run all over you on that. Like you
You can't
gotta
just
fix
you
that.
can't just let that happen.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully it's well, not hopefully, because I don't like FSU either, but for the FSU fans, I'm sure they hope that's a good indicator for their season because last season was rough. So out of all the Florida teams, I think they're the ones with the biggest chip on their shoulder this season going into it. And then obviously you wanted to talk as well about Tennessee versus Syracuse. Tennessee had a huge offensive game, putting up 45 points to win the game. What do you think this means for Tennessee this year?
I think that it definitely it speaks a lot of volume for sure. Because some people thought that once Nico left, that was kind of like the downfall, like that would start the downfall of them, not having somebody to really support the team and be a leader. But they don't understand. It's like, yeah, you may have somebody leave, but there's always going to be somebody to replace you, even if they may not have a whole bunch of buzz going around them in high school or even when they get into college. That doesn't mean that they still can't produce. A lot of people
Yeah.
didn't really know about Cam Ward until he came down here to UM, and yet now look at him. He was literally arguably the best QB throughout that whole season, throughout that whole draft class as well. So it's like, you can't really say, oh, Tennessee is out of there just because they may not have a super known QB. Like we have to stop with that going around. But I'll definitely say Tennessee has always been a good team. They really have. And it's just
They're a very well
we can
put
see,
together team most of the
yeah,
time.
they're exactly like they're not new to it, like they're literally a vet team. That's the kind of team that you want to be a part of. As soon as you get added to the team, you want to be welcomed in and put, right to work, right away. So for Tennessee to really show how they, like, even with them losing people and all of that, for them to still be able to play like that, that says everything you need to know. Because
Yeah.
they could put anybody anywhere and they could still produce, amazingly good. So I'll definitely say it wasn't even really that much of a surprise, but for them to put up 45, that says they're pretty much locked in.
It speaks
Even with
volumes.
even with them only being in Syracuse, and Syracuse is a great school, but they're not they're not too much of a football school. But
They're
with
still a
them to
decent team.
nah, for sure,
And
but
then
for
to
them to
lose
still
45-26.
But I mean, but yeah, you also got to understand that in recent years, Tennessee's defense has been good, but it hasn't been as good as they really could play. I'll say
Yeah.
that because like their defense is for sure good. They have all the pieces there, but sometimes they don't perform to the standard that they really should. Because honestly, Syracuse really shouldn't have scored any.
Hmm.
Tennessee defense is that good, especially all throughout college football. Tennessee is literally in that top 5 as far as defense. So it's like for them to, still even put up about 25-26, that's, it says that even though they perform really well on offense, there's still, a few things I gotta fix on the defensive side. So that if you could tell what you need to fix in the first game right away, your season is going to be easy from there, because now other
Yeah.
teams are going to pick up on that and be like, oh yeah, their defense wasn't this good, during this play and all that, or this quarter against this team. And then now other teams are going to pick up on that and they're going to think like, oh, it's kind of going to be the same thing. But in reality, Tennessee is going to fix that up right away. So now other teams are definitely going to struggle, on the defensive side. But as far as Syracuse, I mean, Syracuse, it's definitely some things that they need to fix for sure. But it's just a lot. People don't know how much recruits really matter. You don't have a lot of people talking about going to Syracuse, you know. So you
Yeah.
may have people that's already there. You may have top recruits going there, or even transferring there. But you still got to understand that you can only do so much. You know, you can only do so much against the top players and the top teams in the country. So it's, you know, as long as you try your hardest and you know you did everything you could, that's
Nothing to
even though
complain about.
yeah, there's
They
nothing
still
to
put up
complain about. Even
26.
exactly, like yeah, there's nothing you could really do about that. Even though you
Yeah.
may have taken an L on the stat sheet, that's really a W for the team
Yeah.
because they know what they need to do. So
Uh, last team before we get into Notre Dame versus UM news. We are having LSU versus Clemson, two ranked teams playing right now. How's the score going, by the way? I don't have the score
it's
pulled up.
3-0 right now.
3-0?
Yeah, only 3-0. Clemson is up, and I mean it's still first quarter, so you know it's a lot of game left, but it's definitely two teams that have went through a lot of loss in the last years. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're definitely trying to build that back up. But honestly, I feel like right now this would whoever wins this game that would definitely determine whether they make playoffs or not for sure. I
Really?
feel like that, yeah, because it's like when you have LSU last year, even with all the good teams that they went against,
Yeah.
even with South Carolina and things like that, they were still super close to making playoffs. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like for them to be that close and them to still not lose too many pieces, other than people that got drafted, and then obviously Kyron Lacy, rest in peace, of course,
Yeah.
with him about to be drafted and all that. LSU is pretty much I don't want to say a lower version or like a lower rank OSU, but it's pretty much the same school. It's just that they're on different sides of it.
Yeah.
LSU with their defense is still pretty good. Ohio State's defense may be good, but it may not be as good as LSU's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what could really take them all the way to the playoffs. As far as Clemson, their offense, their offensive schemes and all that, their playbook and everything has always been good. It's just, bro, they're literally in the hardest conference, the second hardest conference in my opinion. It's like you can't do nothing against that, bro.
Yeah.
Because like even with them not being in a conference where it's like it's not the really SEC and all that, bro. People don't know how hard all these other conferences really are, bro. They really don't know because it may be a team that's horribly ranked last year, and then they're probably top 10 the next year.
Yeah.
But just because like they may have been
Very
great on
dynamic.
defense and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's like people don't know that. So for Clemson, with how they were last year, you could tell they're still in like a rebuild phase, a rebuild stage and all that. It's just they really have to tune in as far as leading as a team. You can't have one person try to do it all. You can't have one person try to be the voice of the team. You always gotta have your co-pieces in it. You can't just have a king and queen. Gotta have your
Yeah.
pawns, your rooks, and your knights. You have to, because that's literally what takes the whole team to the college playoffs. Especially that's literally why you see a whole bunch of transfers and stuff like that now. Same thing with Clemson. You have people transferring from Clemson or transferring to Clemson, but you don't see anybody transferring that leadership energy into them and really, being the voice of the team, or at least trying to lift, their players up. So I'll definitely say if LSU wins this game, that could really determine them making playoffs. It may not be them, they may not be the highest ranked team or whatever, but they still have a chance of making playoffs. Clemson, they can make playoffs as long as they make sure they win this game and just keep the same energy going on. That like try not to overdo it. You overdo it, always leads to something bad. So it's really it's balanced on both sides. I'll say
Yeah.
that for sure.
Well, the biggest topic for today for us is tomorrow's game, UM versus Notre Dame. You know I'm gonna be at the Hard Rock Stadium cheering my ass off for these people. We are gonna have Carson Beck's debut as a Miami Hurricane. Man, what are we hoping for Carson Beck now as a Hurricane? we know everyone has big expectations for him. You know, we have not a brand new team, but we have a pretty fresh team, pretty good recruits, pretty good transfer portal. What are we expecting out of UM, out of Carson Beck against Notre Dame?
I'll say what I expect out of Carson Beck.
Okay.
I definitely expect him to really try to, keep the same type of energy. I wouldn't say same type of skill or, things like as far as him with his mistakes at Georgia and all that, same type of energy. Because people
Yeah.
was like see him, he may not have performed well one game and all that, still kept the same energy all throughout. Even with him, not being top 5 as a QB
He's
last
still
year.
being positive as well.
Is that he's still being, he has that positive energy around him, and that's all you need. Even if you may not have too many weapons around you as far as offense, he's still, he as long as he has that energy, he's going to be good. Now, what I expect from UM, that's more like you can't really tell too early because it's
Yeah,
like with UM, it's always mixed signals. As soon as season started last year or last season, we could definitely see our offense. They were killing it. They were pretty good. But then you could see how I want to say
defensively.
around the third game, that's when we saw defensively it was
Yeah,
horrible. Like it went
it
downhill
was
from
definitely
there,
not. It
and
was not good.
it was
That was our
horrible.
weakest
And the
spot.
thing is like we know that they can be good on the defensive side. It's just for whatever reason they were not playing to the best of their abilities at all. Like it was just not going their way, or even they were not playing the way they should have. So I'll say for UM, I honestly expect good things, but I'm not too sure about them making playoffs this year. Only because it's like now you have somebody that's coming in on their very last year, before they get
Yeah,
drafted at QB, and then you don't have that same type of energy around because first off, most of your players got drafted or most of your seniors got drafted,
a lot of people got
so it's like
drafted.
they're out of there, and then even with um just the overall culture of it, that's like that bad energy. It really has a lot. It has a huge weight on them because we see the same thing with FSU. Once they didn't
Yeah,
make playoffs when they really should have, it went downhill from there. You know, all their top players got drafted and all that, and then it's like the energy wasn't there anymore. It just wasn't good. So if we say the same thing with early, they're definitely like they can't lose a game. I want to say probably by week 4, they have to win every single game from there. Like even if they lose, maybe 2 to 3, that's cool. But they have to perform to like the highest standard on defense every single time. There's no excuse for it.
I really want to see how the game goes tomorrow because I think it'll be a very big indicator of how the rest of the season goes. Because I mean, Notre Dame is a very important rival for UM, and it's a rivalry that we've historically lost. We're like 18-8-1 against them, obviously them having won 18 times. And the last time we met was like 8 years ago in like 2017, and we won that one, but it's been like two generations of football since then. So I'm really interested to see how it goes this year because I feel like it'll be a huge indicator of how the rest of the year will go, especially with Carson Beck. I mean, there's no doubt that he's good, but obviously, like as you said, he's on his last year probably. He's gotten injured. He's getting on a completely new team. Like it's going to be very interesting to see. But then on the other side of the ball, we also have Notre Dame. They're starting a redshirt quarterback. How do you think about CJ Carr? Is there a lot of pressure on him to perform, or do you think as a redshirt that he won't have as much pressure on him?
I mean, there's for sure pressure. There's always pressure. On every single game, no matter what team you play, what level, there's always gonna be pressure. Like so that's definitely gonna be there. It's just how much pressure he allows to really get to him.
Yeah,
That's like the biggest thing. Um, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's it's too early for us to like to really try to have those expectations on. I wouldn't say it's too early, but it's just like we won't really know until like we see in game, we see every single thing that he tries to do. I'll for sure say, even with him being a red shirt, you know, he needs to take advantage of who he's around for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame, as far as the staff, coaching staff, and all that, the program, great. He needs to take advantage of that, because even if he may not be at, let's say, even if he's not at Oregon, if he's not at Georgia, if he's not at Texas, if he's not at Tennessee, even if he's at not South Carolina, Clemson, even if he's not all those, you know, great top schools that's been getting way more attention than any other school in recent years, that pressure will still get to him, but he needs to rely on his team as well, because you can sit there and try to have that pressure, and then you're gonna feel like you got to do everything yourself. That's what he can't do that. Yeah, that's what you're not supposed to do. That's why you gotta rely on your people that's behind you. You know, you gotta make sure that if I'm going to do this and I'm gonna make sure I get you the ball and this down, I'll make sure I'm being a leader for you. I need my O-line blocking straight. I don't need any excuses. You know, I need my O-line blocking. Same thing on the defensive side. If I'm making sure I get, you know, I put points on the board, I need y'all to at least try your best to, you know, to get a stop on the other end. That way y'all can go out, get rest and all that. Now me and my side, we finna go in, score, and then y'all on the sideline resting, y'all get right back in, 3 and out. Same, that's what he needs to do. You know, even if he's not even with him not being a junior, senior, all that, he may not be NFL prospect right away or whatever. People don't know, that doesn't really mean anything. That really doesn't. That's just how known you are. You know, that doesn't determine you being a great leader. That really doesn't, because we see the same thing happening in the NFL, you know? So it's like, for him, he really needs to try to rely on his team a lot, because that pressure, it really does get to you, especially going against UM. Like, everybody
especially
knows
in Hard Rock, yeah.
you know,
For
it's
a
exactly
rivalry like Catholics versus convicts, like there's gonna be
exactly
a
like
lot of like noise in the
he
stadium.
yeah, man, he has to rely on his team, because bro, if he really doesn't, bro, that the game's over pretty much from there. Like,
Yeah,
your season is going to be over, because then that one game is going to stay in his head, and he's not going to be able to perform how he really should, you know, the rest of the season.
yeah.
He can't let this game get to him. If it's another game, he'll be able to get over it. But when it's a rivalry game, first game of the season, he can't let that get to him at all.
Yeah. Before we go into the NFL, I do want to have a little bit more fun. Obviously, we know Catholics versus convicts, Notre Dame versus U Miami. It's a huge rivalry. There's always a lot of banter, a lot of making fun of each other, a lot of stuff that happens in the week before games. We all know the U Miami Insta goes crazy with all their memes. Red Cup Miami goes insane with all their memes. However, we did have some podcasters at Notre Dame going, I think, a little bit too far when recently on their podcast they called Miami players unintelligent thugs. Let me just play the clip for you guys right now.
The biggest advantage that Notre Dame has is that Miami is a bunch of unintelligent thugs that just play instinctually and not wisely. And the best thing about Miami, for their purposes, is that they're a bunch of unintelligent thugs who just play instinctively. So it's the best and the worst thing about Miami.
So right after, you know, these guys put up that little podcast, they took it down pretty quickly after, when people really like started, you know, realizing that this was up. I mean, what do you think about them calling our players unintelligent thugs? Do you think they went too far? I think they definitely got a little like scared, or realized that they might have not had to really say that, because I mean they took it down.
Bro, is it, bro? You could tell, like, the difference between people that got disciplined growing up and knew what not to say. I guess the people that were no discipline at all. That's really what we're seeing right in front of us,
Definitely.
bro. That's really what it is. Because it's like, bro, even with somebody that's, you know, that was somewhat disciplined, you know, that like they may not have got be another time. They may not have got a lot of, things
Take it
taken
away.
away from them from like punishments and all that. Bro, somebody in their right mind would know that's not what you say on a
That's
podcast, bro.
yeah, that's even for
That
like a
like
podcast where like I mean I assume they don't have that many listeners, but like they got found pretty quickly.
pretty quickly.
And that
And
shit went
like that,
viral really quickly.
that says everything right there, bro. Like that, you weren't supposed to say that. And
Yeah.
like, come on now. That and then even with you knowing that you weren't supposed to say that, it's like, what's the point of saying that? Like, come on now. You may say thugs or whatever and all that, and yet UM is still a good school. So like,
UM is
what's
yeah, academically it's a really good school
yeah,
too.
it's a really good school. So it makes no sense for you to say that, even with you having people that come from other states that come here. So you trying to make UM look bad for
I
no
really
reason. Like,
I really hope our players saw them because I've met a lot of our players in classes, and they're honestly like some of like when you think Gentle Giants, a lot of these players are some of like the nicest people like IRL, and I really hope they go into that game with like an extra chip on their shoulder for these Notre Dame guys, because I mean like that's a little insane.
bro, it's unnecessary, bro.
It
Like
is
that
definitely unnecessary.
like you could have said something else, be like, oh, you could have at least talked trash or whatever. But you going
Yeah,
out of your way to call them thugs and all that, unintelligent thugs at that, is like, bro,
Thugs is
like
definitely
you,
yeah. It's a bad
yeah,
word choice.
like that's literally not a word you would use at all, especially because we know
Unintelligent,
the
especially,
history.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I'll say unintelligent. Like you maybe would use that in another, like in a whole different topic or whatever.
yeah,
But when it comes to you literally just playing football, bro, you literally there for your team and
yeah.
you just being there. I'm not finna sit there and come from another state to go to UM, and yet now I'm getting called an unintelligent thug just because I play for the team and not like that was unnecessary, bro. Come on now. He could have said
Especially,
anything else
yeah.
but that.
Especially because like the dynamic is definitely crazy. Like these are just kids. Like these are grown ass men on their podcast saying this, and like the players are just they're just kids, man. They're still like they're under 22, most of them. Like that's insane saying that about some like 19, 20, 21 year old like kids, man. Like that's
Come
definitely
on.
crazy. But anyways, we had our fun. We're gonna move on to NFL. NFL will obviously go just a little bit quickly. Since we still haven't got into regular season, sadly, but it's okay.
Yeah, 60 on it. Yep, low spur. We going all the way up. Yeah. I'm gonna turn this bitch all the way up. Hey, Brandon, where you? Yeah. I'm on the block with that heavy, yeah. On the block with that heavy. Watch out for cops that pull up in them Chevys. They about to crack my main trap, her name Betty. These niggas don't want no smoke on my body. Gucci and Louis can't do no Zanati. Bad bitch on me look like she hang with Kylie. I used to fuck with a bitch, hang with Kylie. On the real, I think that bitch live in Cali. My boy got the powder, the flower with that Kylie. Yeah. I could've been a stylist. I remember when the boys used to dollars. I got a girl that trap like she from Dallas. I got so much money, need an accountant. She said
Transition music. So anyways, welcome guys to our NFL section. We're gonna talk first about some recent NFL news. First of all, Micah Parsons trade. Just for the poor city of Dallas in only a year, I think less than a year, has lost two of their biggest stars, both
It's
Luka
only been
Doncic and
like
Micah
7 months.
Parsons. They lost Micah Parsons, traded Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first rounders and defensive tackle Kenny Clark, which honestly before today or yesterday, I guess, I hadn't really heard of Kenny Clark. But 2 first rounders, I mean, that's some pretty good value, but like, man, what is Jerry Jones doing, man? Like, oh my God. Honestly, 60 million more than Dak Prescott, honestly. Like,
Man,
it's an insane trade.
it's just like, bro, I knew at some point they were gonna trade somebody, bro. I had a feeling, bro, because it's like, bro, you like think about it. Steelers trade George Pickens to Cowboys, right? Boom. Now
Yeah.
you have Pickens, you have Lamb, and all that. The Cowboys in recent years, they always gain something and
And
lose
lose
something
something.
drastically, bro. It is bad. Like, it is that bad. They got CD Lamb, drafting him. Cool. As soon as they get CD Lamb, now the whole team is pretty much
Gone.
doo-doo. Trash. Same exact thing right here. You don't understand the fact that Michael Parsons was literally a huge, like you needed him on defense. You literally needed
Definitely.
him. And then the fact that the Lions whooped you last year. Like, I mean, bad. Bro, you just lost Michael Parsons, bro. What are you doing? Like, now you're going to lose even worse to other teams than just the Lions, bro. You're gonna go
Definitely.
against teams and like you're literally going to get whooped, bro. Like he put that much pressure on that O line and on the QB to try to at least save them. But now, bro, you have no pressure going into, like, there's no pressure on the QBs at all, pretty much. And no disrespect to Kenny Clark, but it's like, bro, we're talking about Michael Parsons. The fact that
Yeah. He's
he
one
was
of the best
literally
pass rushers in the league.
exactly literally one of the best. Like, come on now, you can't try to trade an asset like
Like that,
that.
yeah.
Like,
Or
come
like,
on, bro.
I mean, 2 first rounders is good, but when you're thinking about like the short term, like because the Cowboys don't really seem like they want to rebuild. They just don't want to pay their good players. Like that's not really rebuilding. And I mean, props to Michael Parsons. Like he's getting a 4-year, $188 million contract with 136 million of those dollars guaranteed. Like that is a bag for Michael Parsons. But like seriously, like they did not want to pay him, man. Like those Cowboys did not want to pay him. And like he held through too. He said like the past, I think he said 3 or 4 months were like the worst months of his life. Like I get that, man, but I think it was worth it.
Bro, this man, he was riding for that team, bro. No matter how much dirt people really try to put on the Cowboys, that man said we win the Super Bowl multiple times, bro. And you traded him just because you didn't want to pay. Like, come on,
Pay
bro.
him what is
Like,
worth, man.
yeah, is that what he's worth? If I know I'm worth this, all right, cool. I'm gonna go to another team, and I'm finna be the highest non-paid QB in the NFL in history.
Yeah.
I'm finna go do that since you don't want to pay me. And now he's on a team that's honestly a better fit for him, anyways. Because now, even with them not, even with it being the Packers, they may
The
not have.
Packers already had like an okay
Uh,
defense,
yeah, they are, like, their defense wasn't, it wasn't top 3, top 5,
but it
but
was still a solid
the
defense.
Packers are they're still a great team. They made Miami
Especially in a
struggle.
division like NFC North, like that's a huge addition
Exactly.
right now.
They
That's
made
what they
a
need.
few teams struggle against them. So that, like, come on, now you put him on the team, bro. That's gonna make it easy for them. And even with on the offensive side, bro, you got Jordan Love, great QB, great. Like there's nothing else that can be said about him. He's just a great QB. So you put him some more pieces around him, bro.
That's
They're
great,
going to
yeah.
be a Super Bowl bound team. Like they may not be
They're strong right now.
that, yeah, they're that strong. They may not be, Eagles or even Ravens, Lions, Chiefs. They
Yeah.
may not be those teams, but they're still going to, like, play their hardest to make sure that they at least still get in the playoffs. That's the biggest thing right now. So it's like it was a lose-lose situation for the Cowboys, bro. Like you either not pay them and you lose them, or you trade them and then 2 first-rounders that may not be good.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. The Packers will be probably one of the better teams in the NFC this year. And then our other piece of NFL news, some new uniforms got announced, the Rivalries uniforms, which will be used during the divisional rival games. Let's take a look at these jerseys real quick because there's 8 teams that got chosen for these jerseys. It is the Bills, Cardinals, Dolphins, 49ers, Jets, Pats, Rams, and Seahawks. So that's 2 divisions. That's the NFC West, if I'm not mistaken, and the AFC East, if I'm not mistaken. And so we have here the Bills jerseys, some whiteout. They're calling it the cold front. This is a pretty sick jersey, to be honest with you. Like, look at this. That is beautiful to me. Oh my Lord. Then we also have here the Dolphins. I mean, look at just an all black. Honestly, I will say this is not one of my favorites, but it is still a pretty good jersey. Like the black with the colors, it goes pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. With the blue and orange.
It's underwhelming, bro. It's like, it's underwhelming. Come on.
Then we got here the Patriots. I don't know why I almost said Packers. I honestly don't really like this much, but it's honestly not that bad. It's pretty cool.
I feel like it's giving like Howard. It's giving like Howard jerseys,
Ooh,
bro.
I see what you
It
mean.
has that Howard blue in it. So it's like, I feel like it's definitely not an NFL type of jersey. It's definitely college for sure.
Oh, all right, there you go. It definitely like hmm. It's giving very much like you see how it says the Nor'easters here? Like it's very much giving Northeast vibes. Then we also got here the Jets. This is the Jets. Um, Gotham City. Honestly, Gotham City is such a good choice for the Jets. Like this looks really sick. And especially the trailer they made for it, like it is pretty sick. Then we got here the Cardinals. Honestly, the Cardinals is very Arizona vibes. Like I can feel the heat coming off of it. I like it.
Opinion, they have the best jersey
The
out of all of
Cardinals?
them. Yeah, because
Interesting.
like, bro, not but think about it though. What jersey looks similar to that? The Oregon eggshell jersey.
Ooh,
And all they did was really put that Arizona like flavor on it, bro. That it looks perfect. Like that's literally a
it does look
Arizona
good.
jersey, bro. That's a perfect jersey for them.
They sprinkled it with salt, basically.
Pretty much they put some they put a little more than salt, bro. They put a little sloppy mama on there, bro. A little seasoning.
And then we got the Rams here. It looks pretty nice, to be honest with you. I will not complain. These
Yeah,
the
it's
black helmet, or is this dark blue or is it black helmet?
I think I think it's dark blue. It has like a two-tone to it. Like it looks black,
Yeah,
but under light is really blue. It's like a super dark blue. But I mean,
it's
just a
okay. It's
clean.
decent.
Yeah, it's decent. I feel like they could have did better on some of these jerseys though.
They kind of look like Chargers jerseys. That's my only complaint with this.
Yeah, it's like I
It
don't
looks too
know. I don't
similar.
know,
And then the 49ers, honestly, this helmet is beautiful. The
bro.
49ers helmet, they did not do much on the jersey, but the 49ers, oh my God, look at
Yeah,
this. That is a
absolutely, bro.
beautiful Oakley helmet.
Is literally like it has that 49ers like
That
aura
is
to it,
beautiful.
bro.
With the gold and
Especially,
red.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
bro. It's
beautiful.
literally 49ers, bro. It's perfect. It's
That
perfect
is
for it.
beautiful. And then obviously my Seahawks. I honestly, this helmet is always, they did like amazing on all of the helmets. I honestly, like I didn't know about the jersey at first, but honestly this looks pretty clean. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it looks pretty clean. It's giving that like Seattle like rainy season. Like it does look
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. That's
I'm
true.
excited to see how all these look on the field, like on TV. Like I'm excited, especially this 49ers helmet because they look sick. Like that red is beautiful. I think definitely out of all of these, the 49ers is my favorite. You said which the
Yeah,
Cardinals is your
bro.
favorite, right?
It's perfect, bro. It's perfect. Bro, it's like if it has that, like it gives Arizona, Cardinals, but with them putting that like that cream tint over it is literally perfect.
I
Like
want to see more of
it's
this
literally like
helmet.
yeah. I feel like they definitely should have showed that helmet more because
Yeah,
it definitely looks clean
it looks
for
like a
sure.
Flash
But
helmet.
yeah, it doesn't like it's just a super regular plain like probably one tone helmet. Like it has nothing special going on about it. But bro, it gives Arizona, bro. Like you literally playing in Arizona in the middle of the desert. You got dirt all over you, dirt and sand all over you. That's really what it gives.
I think for helmets, my favorite helmet is the 49ers helmet. For jersey, definitely the Cardinals. And then for overall like theme, I like the Jets a lot. And also the Dolphins. Like the Dolphins looks goes very well together with all the colors.
I feel like nah, but even though the Dolphins, the colors are good, they definitely didn't do it how like they really should have, bro.
Yeah.
Like they could have went about it totally different, especially when you look at the sleeves, that under
Hmm.
part with the lining.
Yeah.
They could, because it looks like a cartoon. It doesn't look like an actual jersey. When you look at the
Yeah.
pictures, it looks AI generated pretty much.
I'm
Like
very
the
interested to see how they look on the field. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
that like I have to see what it looks like on the field. Same, like it's pretty much the it gives like the Miami Heat South Beach team. Like you have to see it on the court first before
Yeah.
you even like really have your opinion on it. Same thing with the Dolphins jersey.
I want to see too, like out of all of these, obviously the Cardinals had their cream color, but the Patriots are really the only ones who went something other than black and white, and I think it ended up looking pretty good. Like they stuck to their like I think heritage is saying is kind of stupid to say for like the Northeast, but like it's definitely giving the most Northeast vibes out of all of them, besides maybe the Cardinals cream colors.
For sure. I mean, it makes sense though, because like for the
Yeah,
Patriots, if you look at everybody's jerseys, the Patriots, it makes the most sense. You know, it's a Patriot. The
yeah,
only color they took away was really that red. So it's like if they would add a hint of red in there, bro, it would literally look perfect. It matches the team like perfectly. So honestly, I feel like overall, Patriots probably has like the overall best, or at least top
ooh,
three,
actually, I see.
like as far as everything.
With this Cardinals helmet, I like the cream color on the helmet too, but I just realized this Seahawks helmet is like, you see how it's like, what do you say
It's
when
like
two colors is gradients? It's like teal to
yeah,
purple
it's
gradients.
like I'll probably say it's more of like a chameleon, like a
Yeah,
chameleon type of thing, so a type of finish to it. It has like one angle, it looks like a color, but then another angle is definitely different. It definitely has that to it for sure.
okay, I definitely want to see how that Seahawks helmet looks like in the light, you know what I mean? I think that'll be
Yeah.
really interesting. But yeah, so that's enough of that, I think, of us nerding out over uniforms. So now that we've gone over all the jerseys, just some quick preseason things. What were your top things that you saw from this preseason?
Honestly, I don't really see too much. I'll definitely say that I mean, there are some things that some teams need to work out for sure. I definitely think that Lions may be relying too much on their starters, and that's as we've seen over the last over the last season. That's not something good, because especially with them having the most injured players throughout that whole season, they definitely need to try to get their second strings, their secondaries, and like everything. They need to get all that together. That, 'cause everybody's super skillful. It's NFL. Everybody has skill, but that's
Yeah.
the problem. Everybody has skill. Not everybody has longevity. Not everybody has the bodies to really maintain things like that. So I definitely say, as far as just preseason, it's really the Lions. And actually, I'll say this too: Dolphins. People try to like bash the Dolphins in a way, just because like they may not have all their starters in, or they may have started to where they took them out later in the game. They think just because it's preseason, that determines everything. That's not true. Because
Yeah.
if that was really the case, that would be the same thing for every other team, in the NFL. That would be for every single team. So it's like they definitely gotta not, bash them too early. But Dolphins, they definitely have a lot of stuff that they really need to work on for sure. It's a lot of stuff that actually got exposed over the offseason. So yeah, it's like, even just outside of players, just overall the whole franchise, bro. They have to change everything. Like not a lot of respect in the locker room, and not a lot of stuff going on the field. But as far as players, they definitely have some running backs that are definitely stepping up. Even with a chain, him being kind of in and out with being hurt right now. They definitely have some people that are set up to the plate and all of that. But it all depends on if everybody's healthy. Like we can't decide anything, and that's for all teams. across every division in both conferences. So
I'm pretty
that's really
excited.
it.
I'm pretty excited,
Yeah,
honestly. We have some
sure.
pretty like good, exciting rookies, I think. Um, and I can't really think of a team that's like necessarily like horrible. Maybe the Colts, but like there's like a few teams that like are a little iffy, but there's no real team that I feel like isn't gonna at least have a decent season. Maybe
Yeah.
like there's some teams that obviously have problems they need to work out, like the Saints and stuff like that. But I think for most fan bases this year, it's pretty exciting. And yeah, I mean we're gonna see. The regular season's starting soon. It's like one more week, I think. But yeah, that's been all from us at the Sideline Surge today. Um, UM versus Notre Dame will probably have happened by the time I get this podcast out, so hopefully we won. I will be there. If you see me on TV, just be like, "What's up?" Um, Also, I think just before we go, also just quickly, congrats to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift for getting engaged. It's like the biggest news right now. Like, I can always respect that. I can always respect that. Obviously, we should do a little congrats, and congrats to everyone else who got engaged over the offseason as well, the NFL players. Um, Also hope and pray for no bad injuries or anything, that everyone is able to play well this year as we go into the new season. And yeah, I have been
My son
Emil.
as well. Holiday. I'm a
Travis Hunter
father
as
now.
well. Yeah, I have been Emil. This has been Samaj, and we have been the Sideline Search. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.